What's up? How's it going, guys? Can everyone hear me okay? Mic check. What's going on in the fishing world, guys? I know Jan has fishing weather. Good, thanks. Thanks, guys. Andrew Baker. That's a new name. I don't remember seeing that before. Welcome. How you doing? Got a lot of the old standbys, Jan and Jim and John and N5KDA. So we'll see how many hop on for fishing and how many hop on for free stuff, since I'm not giving any free stuff away tonight. may not have as many showing up. Rainy day today. That's too bad, Jan. What's up, Brian? Yeti Whisperer, the man with all the high-tech equipment. How's it going? 3 days of ice. Yeah, we've got pretty bad weather here right now. Boy, they had a big accident in Texas today. 100-car pileup or something. That was crazy. 9 degrees. Yeah, that's about what it is here too, man. It's crazy cold right now. Jim Collins, -4. It can be worse. It can always be worse. Yeah, I like those pics, Jan. I showed them to my wife. It's kind of sad because we were there just about a year ago. Yeah, Fort Worth. Big pileup. What's up, Alex? How you doing, man? Yeah, 5 fatalities. Boy, that's sad. Southwest Mississippi, rare as hen's teeth. Yeah, well, I got a tournament at Lake of the Ozarks in about 3 weeks, and it still looks like the temps are going to be super cold. It's actually frozen down there right now, which doesn't happen very often. So I don't know what's going to happen on that tournament. Kick your bass. How you doing, man? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be fishing that Major League Fishing Toyota Series as a co-angler. I'm not fishing the BASS Opens this year because I don't like any of the locations of the tournaments, really. The other thing is Bass has really kind of put the screws to the Opens. Those used to be really good. They used to have a championship that you worked towards and points, and man, they don't care about those guys that fish the Opens on BASS, and they've really taken all the incentive away. So I switched over to FLW, which became Major League Fishing, because they have a championship you can work towards, and the payouts are a little better. So anyway, I used to love the Opens. One of the things I love about being a co on the Opens is you only have to catch 3 fish. The pro catches 5, but the co-anglers only have to catch 3. And that's much easier behind a pro, where these MLF Toyota series, you got to catch 5 fish, which I've done that before. So it's not a huge deal, but it's not a deal breaker, but it's still not as fun as it could be. Yeah, that'd be something. Get paired with Lunkers TV. Yeah, I saw that he was doing. He's going to be fishing something. I didn't know if it was the Opens or the Toyota Series. So you're right. If he's doing the Toyota Series, I could get paired with him. I don't know if he's ever fished tournaments before, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. I do think he's a pretty decent fisherman. I used to watch his fishing videos before he became a Googan, and he looked like he was a pretty decent fisherman, really. Fisherman 83, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's cold here too. He finished 181st last week. That's pretty bad. Probably wasn't more than about 200 boats, was there, Jim? I've got a lot of buddies that fish the opens, and I'm telling you, it amazes me. There are quite a few guys who do it year after year after year, and they never win anything. I don't know how they can afford to keep doing it. John Gill, how's it going, man? 2 pounds, 4 ounces, huh? For the whole tournament, or just one day? 201 boaters, yeah. So that's pretty close to the bottom. It'll be good video though if he's going to post everything on the videos of the whole thing. Guys like to watch it even if you're losing. Where'd you fish last week, JB? Hey, are any of you guys on Clubhouse yet? Know what Clubhouse is? Heard of it? Neely Henry. I've never fished Neely Henry. I'd like to try it. Yeah, we got some of the regulars on tonight. This is kind of the group of regulars that fish. Okay, Clubhouse is another social media deal out there. Like we need another one of those, right? But Clubhouse is different, and I think a group like this, we'd enjoy it because there's no video. It's just audio, and you can all join. Like I could go on Clubhouse and start a fishing group, and we would all talk. So instead of chatting, we would all be talking to each other the whole time. It's only voice. There's no video. There's no chatting. It's just voice. So if we wanted to talk about wiggle warts, we could all just talk back and forth instead of having to read a screen the whole time, which I think would be pretty cool. I joined Clubhouse a few weeks ago, and I was on a fishing chat last night, and it was fun. I say chat. It's just, I don't know what you call it. It's real chatting. It's talking, and it's pretty fun. You have to get invited to it, and you go sign up, and then they send you an invite later. Someone will send you an invite. So if any of you would like to try that, go sign up for Clubhouse. I'm in there as Mr. Bass, and let me know you're in there. And I got about 4 invites I can give away right now. I'll send you an invite so you can get in, and then we could start a group where we all talk. Which I'm going to keep doing this too. Yeah, it's kind of like the ham radio thing. Yeah, but it's just a phone app, a big social media thing that a lot of stars and stuff are. That's one of the things they say is cool if you're really enamored with famous people, that they're going to be in some groups that you're in, and you can actually talk with them one-on-one. Alex, I like a lot of, I throw a lot of balsa baits, and I got some handmade ones as well. There's a local guy here named Dave. I can't think of his last name at the moment. His company's called Dave's Custom Baits, and he makes I don't know if he makes the baits, but he paints them. Incredible paint jobs. And he's got some really sweet balsa baits, that square bills that go for like $50 each. And a lot of guys throw them around here. Man, Walt, you're talking way over my head. I got no idea what a Discord server is. You got a fishing club meeting tonight, John? That's sweet. Ever heard of Gulp crankbaits? No. I've heard of Gulp that Berkeley uses, that smelly stuff that they put their soft plastics in, but that's the only Gulp I know about. Nice thing about Discords, you can stream. That'd be cool. Ever checked out Pumpkin Bait Company? No, kick your bass. Local is in KC area, Missouri area. There's quite a few guys in our group that are custom lure guys, either painting lures or making jigs. Like JB makes some sweet jigs he's been sending me photos of. He's going to send me some of his jigs, and I'm going to show them to you guys on the channel. They're really nice looking jigs. And then, yeah, Black Label Balsa. Yeah, I am familiar with those, Yeti Whisperer. I can't say I've done a ton of fishing with them, but I have one or two. Nice. Is it a BASS club, John? I fish a bass club. I was in the KC Bassmasters for a few years. They're great guys, but then they switch their schedules up on Sundays, and I'm busy with church tournaments on Sundays if I can avoid it. So I had to find a new club, and my buddy Joe, who's not on here tonight, he's working at Bass Pro. He and I fish together in a bass club. We're trying a new one this year. JB makes spinner baits and buzz baits too. Nice. I like me some custom made spinner baits and buzz baits. There's a guy up here in Smithville Lake named Burton. Burton's his last name. What's his first name? He has a Burton's bait and tackle, which he sold, but he makes a lot of custom spinner baits, and I fish with those quite a bit. Gulp's made by a local guy. He hand makes them and paints them. A lot of the elite guys use them. Oh, cool. Jan's got some friends that do some fishing, trying to get them to send for the giveaways. Heck yeah, man. I'd love for him to hop on. And the funny thing about Puerto Rico is because it's a territory of the U.S., that shipping's cheap there. It's just like, well, none of the shipping's cheap, right? But it only cost me about $4 to ship you stuff, Jan, where Canada cost me $15. Bass Pro shut down in Canada? What the heck's that about? Because of COVID? That is crazy. How about my Mr. Bass sticker I stuck on my Yeti cup? That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Almost looks like it was made to be on there. Shutting Bass Pro down because of COVID. Golly, man. This thing's getting out of hand. It does. It blends right in, man. Right on. I like that. Trying to get my... Still haven't quite figured out this webcam. Mr. Bass. My buddy Joe, or Jim Fedor. See that writing? Mr. Bass writing? He did that by hand. He's a He is what they call a lettering artist. And man, he is amazing. He worked for Hallmark Cards and did the lettering on Hallmark cards for years. Just retired from there. And he made that for me. I think it's a pretty cool looking deal there. You got to be talented to do something like that. Yeah, they do look great. Yeah, send a couple in, JB, if you're going to send some spinner baits, and I'll show the guys that too. It'd be good to support each other. Man, if you're looking for jigs, why not buy them from JB or spinner baits? Mr. Bass merch, who knows? Maybe eventually. Toronto. I haven't been to Toronto. I've been to Manitoba quite a bit, and Winnipeg, of course, the city that I fly into. Usually fly into Winnipeg, and then go up north and do some fishing up there. Man, you got some awesome fishing in Canada. Big D, big little D, big D. Yeah, my buddy Jim, I was talking about how he did the letters. He drew the fish too. He drew that thing by hand. That's like handmade art. So he's had a heck of an artist. Favorite wiggle wart. Holy cow, man. I can't narrow that down to just one. Which province do you pike fish in? Manitoba. Although I fished in Ontario as well. Really, Ontario and Manitoba, but my better fish has been in Manitoba. In Ontario, I fished several years with a place called Wilderness Air. Really nice guys, and they got great aircraft. Their float planes are awesome. And I've got a video that I put up called something like catching good lures to catch Canadian pike or something. And the picture of one of those planes is from those guys at Wilderness Air. There's a lake called Confusion Lake that I fished at a couple of years. That was really fun. And then I went up to Tobamora, Canada. Is great. We can't even get into Canada right now, though, to fish, unfortunately. Ever watch 39 Hours on YouTube? Nope, but I'll make a note of it. Is it another fishing channel or what? I hadn't even heard of it. 39 Hours. Oh, yeah. I've caught well over 40 inches. In fact, I went with like 5 or 6 buddies to a lake, Dunlop's Lodge in Manitoba. And every one of us caught pike over 40 inches. In fact, I think most of us, if not all of us, caught pike over 45 inches. And there's been fish over 50 inches at that up there in that Dunlop's lake. Uncut angling on 39 Hours. Huh. I'll check him out. Dude, man, that fishing up there in Canada is just awesome. It's so remote. It's like being in an uninhabited part of the earth. It's fantastic. Hey, Mr. Bass, you ever get your loose skipping reel yet? You know, I think I did, and that sounds bad. It does sound bad. But I've got a couple of boxes I got in, and I haven't opened them yet. And I think that reel's in there. If you want me to check, John, for that reel, I will run over here and look in that box and see if it's in there. You want me to go see if I've got it? Hit the thumbs up. Right on, Yeti Whisperer. Thanks, man. Have I ever fished Lake Hartwell? No. Okay, John wants to see if I've got that reel. So let me, you guys chat amongst yourselves for a second. I'll look in that box and see if that reel's in there. Would I rather fish Canadian lakes your whole life or fish the Bassmaster Classic once? Canadian lakes. No question about that. No, I haven't seen KVD's new bass boat. What's it look like? I'm back. Sorry, no reel. I will definitely show it to you guys when it comes in, though. I hear Hartwell's pretty awesome. I'd like to see it. Nitro Z21. You know, I've ridden in a lot of nitros, and I don't like them that much. As a co-angler, I've ridden in a lot of boats. Just about every bass boat you can think of, I've probably been in it. And I do not like nitros much. The one thing I do like about nitros is they got a lot of really good storage, but I'm not a big nitro fan. But I bet it is really cool. I definitely am going to check it out. Ty Riley's on. You're going to do a tournament with one of your buddies? Where at? Yeah, nitro is a rough ride. I think it is. In fact, I rode in a brand new nitro with a guy on a tournament at the Potomac River. And that was the worst ride I think I've ever had in a boat. There are a lot of pros that are starting to go to the 10 boats, the aluminum boats. I fished with Harvey Horn. I don't know if you guys know Harvey Horn. He's only been on the elites for about 2, maybe 3 years now. But I fished with Harvey Horn on the Red River on a BASS Open, and he drives a 10 boat. What's the name of that manufacturer? It's not Vexus. It's the same one that Jason Christie just signed on with. That is a bad, bad boat, man. A bad boat. Uh-oh. My wife's bringing me something. That boat that Harvey Horn drives, and now that Jason Christie drives, it's got C-deck on it instead of carpet, for one. Super awesome. It flies like the wind. Express. That's right, Alex. Those Express boats, man, they are awesome. And I'm thinking if I were to ever get a 10 boat, it would be an express boat. John, if you want to keep riding with your buddy, you better tell him you like it. Nathan's got a paddle boat. There's nothing wrong with that. Walt knows Harvey. He's a good dude. I really enjoy fishing with him. I'll tell you what, Harvey is rough on his stuff, though. Do not ever buy a used boat from Harvey. When he's done with it, the boat's going to be worn out. The graphs are going to be worn out. The trolling motor is going to be worn out. He works his stuff to death. He told me, he said, it's a tool. It is a tool, and I ride my tools. I work my tools hard, and he really does. For sure. Is it snowing there? No. Whoa! Look at this. My wife brought me a treat. Bacon.
Any bacon.
And this is not any bacon. This is candied bacon. Sugary sweet bacon. And guess who is dying to have a piece of this bacon? I'll show you. Right here. He wants the bacon. He's dying for the bacon. He's like, please, give me some bacon. The problem is, I love bacon. So it's going to be very hard for me to share it with him. So the reason my wife brought me bacon, it is awesome, man. Goofball. He loves bacon. We'll give him just a little. How do you like it? Good? Oh, yeah. A year ago, Jan, when I was in Puerto Rico, we were on a cruise. We took a cruise down to Puerto Rico and the Bahamas and other areas. And we went to dinner on the ship one night, and they had this incredible candied bacon. It was insane. Big, huge pieces that were like 8 inches long, super thick, incredible. So since we can't go on a cruise this year, how about Mrs. Bass made me some bacon. Nice. Andy's right here on my leg. He's standing up on my leg saying, please, more bacon, more bacon. All right, here you go. Man, it's good stuff. Too bad you guys can't share it. Yeah, not on the pan. This is oven bacon. It's good stuff. Yeah, I bet you do, Jan. What's more healthy than bacon? That's good stuff. Well, that's a first for me, eating bacon on my live stream. We are going to talk about wiggle warts here. Pizza has all 5 food groups. That's good to know. Man, that bacon's good stuff. So did Ty say where he's fishing his tournament at? I missed that if he did. What kind of a tournament is it, Ty? Have you guys seen that Bass Pro's doing this new tournament series for people who are not pros? $1 million prize for one team. It's a team tournament. Somebody's going to win $1 million. They're not cheap tournaments though. They're like $450 a person. If you go on Bass Pro Shop's website, you can find out more about it. I might could look it up if you guys are interested. It's like their first national tournament for people who are not pros. You have to be. Bass Pro announces $1 million pass tournament for amateurs only. It's called the U.S. Open National Bass Fishing Amateur Team Championships. Pretty crazy. I don't know payouts and stuff. Guaranteed purse value of $4.3 million will be awarded with the national championship team winning $1 million cash prize, which is the largest cash payout of any single freshwater fishing tournament in history. That's pretty crazy. Ty, there's bass clubs you can hop in, especially for kids. There's some bass clubs that will support kids, and a lot of them will let kids fish them free. I don't know, John, if it's going to be on TV or not, but you would think the way they're really pushing this thing, you would think it is going to be on TV. Yeah, would be really cool. A good way to get into tournament fishing is to join a team tournament, because you both can work with each other, and a lot of times you can get in a tournament with an adult that maybe has more tournament experience. Like Ty down here at the Smith Lake, they have a team tournament every Saturday that you could join. You could sign up for. I don't think there's a minimum age, and it's only like $20, something like that. I don't know exactly how much it is, but it's pretty cheap. Chops Bearded. That's a new face. What up, man? So I got quite a few wiggle warts. I got a box here. 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 Got a box here. Hey, there's Braden. How you doing, Braden? How you been, man? Did you get your prizes yet? Your baits yet? Oh yeah, you're right, John. I got one in my safe. Do you guys want to see the one that's in my safe? I could go grab it. I forgot about that one. Oh, yeah. Braden's like another time Braden got on and he was at the restaurant or something with his parents. Was that Braden or was that somebody else? I think it was Landon or Braden that was at the restaurant with his parents and said he couldn't get in until couldn't go live. That was it until he got home. That was Landon. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It wasn't Braden. I know you were dying to have that fishing line, Braden, so I went ahead and put it in the package for you. There's Daniel Hedrick. How you doing, Daniel? Don't see Landon on tonight. I bet he's on Saturday night for the prizes. What do you bet? I'm going to leave you guys for a second and go get that wiggle wart out of my safe. The blue mackerel. Hold on a second. Chat amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. All right. Spencer Lowry. What do you know? Woodfish art on the wall looks really cool. That is really cool. It is a cool piece. My wife bought that for me. It is heavy. Went to get more bacon. Don't let me. Yeah, you're right. Here it is. Check it out. Blue mackerel. This bait has sold for big money. The most I've seen it go for was $2,400. That's right. $2,400. And back when I made my video of this, it was selling on eBay from between $600 and $700. The holy mackerel of wiggle warts, Stephen Walser. You're absolutely right. Now, why in the world? It's not even that good of a looking wiggle wart, but it's all about scarcity. And apparently this one's really hard to get. And I really lucked out on this. This is not a mint condition one, so it's not going to be worth, you know, $700. But I won this in a raffle. It's one of those waffle raffles where you pay $10 or $20, and they have like 10 places, and they spin the wheel, and then that's how I won this. So I ended up paying not a ton of money for it. That's why I keep it in the safe. Not really so someone doesn't steal it, because, hey, nobody's even going to know it's worth it. Just to remind me, don't fish with this thing. Don't put it in the water. It's too valuable. Yeah, toss it in the 5-gallon bucket. Man, Nathan, you're pretty sharp. But that is not going to happen. Put it in a 5-gallon bucket. Oh man, some of you guys, that is hilarious. There you go. Nathan's still at it. He's offering to keep it in his safe for me. Man, what a guy. Jan, in the miscellaneous bucket. I know. It would definitely be a nice prize to have in the bucket. So let me talk a little bit about rod and reel and line and that kind of stuff that you typically would use to fish a wiggle wart. Let me try to put this a little lower. There we go. Wiggle warts really shine in colder water, kind of early springtime. And usually, you know, in super cold water, you might be throwing a really tight wobbling bait, like maybe the shad wraps. You know, we've talked about the shad wraps before. They're a great 40-degree crankbait. But when those temps get into the high 40s and hit 50 and start going around that 50-degree mark, that's when the wiggle wart really kind of takes off and starts to shine. So we're not far from that where, I mean, we are right now where I live just because it's so crazy cold, but literally in March, guys are going to start throwing the wiggle warts a lot around the Lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock Lake, Bull Shoals, all of these impoundments that are rocky. John wants to talk about the Chiefs. Come on, man. Trying to kick me while I'm down. Congratulations to the Bucks, man. If there's any Bucks fans, I know we got one. I don't know if he's on here. Good dude who's a lifelong Bucks fan. He was super happy. I congratulated him on his win already. But man, the Chiefs just laid a big fat turd, man. They I don't know what happened. They played terrible. Defense played terrible. Offense played terrible. Special teams played terrible. 20-yard punts. I mean, it was ugly. Ugly. Okay, so the original wiggle warts come with a snap. Let me see if I can find one that has a snap on it right here. The original wiggle warts come with a snap, and I take that snap off and just use a split ring. Snaps, one, it doesn't ever quite, it's not quite perfectly lined up with the snap, perfectly straight. And the other reason is that snaps break. You know, snaps are weak, and these lures are too expensive to have something break off. So I just go ahead and put a regular split ring on them. Yeah, Bears have had it tough for a while. You're right, Nathan. The Chiefs rolled over and died. Whew, ugly. Ugly. Offensive line just did a terrible job. I think the reason, I mean, we had mostly second string guys on our offensive line. We had so many injuries, but I still thought they could at least hold them enough for Mahomes to run around and scramble and get some passes out, because he's really good at that. But man, there was no time. Those guys had no problem breaking through the offensive line. Do you always tie your hooks together? You mean while I keep them in my boxes? Yeah, I usually do. I use these tiny rubber bands. I'll show you. I got some right here. I use these tiny rubber bands. These work great to hold hooks together. And I use them in my boxes that I fish out of. I'm not going to take a box like this to the lake. It's too expensive. I got way too many in there. So what I do when I'm going out to fish with them, I put them in a box like this, and then I don't have to tie them because there's just one lure per tray, so they don't really get tangled up. But when I take crankbaits out in a box that I'm going to fish out of, and I got more than one bait in a space, I put rubber bands on the hooks to keep them from getting tangled up. You're right, Ty. Mahomes was running for his life. They said after the snap, he ran like almost 500 yards in that game, just getting away from people. It wasn't even running to move the ball. It was just to get away for his life. Mahomes is amazing. Do I get my warts on eBay? Yeah, I get them on eBay. I get them at garage sales. There are wiggle wart groups, Facebook groups you can join. There's one that I really like called Pre Rapala Wiggle Wart Buy and Sell. It's a private group, and you can buy warts from guys in the group. They do those raffles. That's how I won my blue mackerel on the raffle. So there's a lot of places to get them. And really, if you don't have money to spend, the new warts still work. You can catch fish on the new wiggle warts. Daniel, the stock hooks on wiggle warts are not very good. So I will change the hooks out. Sometimes I don't, though. Sometimes I get lazy and I just fish with them until the hook breaks or bends out, and then I'll upgrade the hooks. But the hooks are not very high quality on the wiggle warts. I'm changing tackle boxes all the time, Spencer. I got, man, so many different tackle boxes, and I change them depending upon the conditions. And like, if I'm fishing in the kayak, I use different tackle boxes than if I'm in the boat. If I'm fishing on a pond, on a bank, then I have different tackle boxes for that. It's all about size and weight. Then I have other tackle boxes I use when I'm fishing tournaments as a co-angler. And that's really what it's all about. So I'm going to talk about how to fish a wiggle wart. Well, yeah, there's not a lot you do to a new wart, John, to make it fish like the old. They don't fish like the old warts. In fact, if you know the Milliken guy that has a huge YouTube channel, he did a really good video in the pool where he showed the original wiggle wart swimming side by side with the new wiggle warts and then some other baits. And you can tell the old wiggle warts have a much more erratic, they move much more erratically in the water than the new ones do. They just do. But that doesn't mean you can't catch fish with the new ones. You can. In fact, there are times when the conditions are such that you might catch more fish on a new wart than you would on the original old wart. But 9 times out of 10, I'm still going to throw the old warts first. What's the most that I would pay for a wiggle wart? Probably $100, Alex. But it would have to be a very specific wiggle wart like this one. Well, let's see. That's a repaint. Here, okay, here's one. This is a wiggle wart that goes for $100 or more. This is the SP90, which is Missouri Craw. And this thing goes for over $100. Let's look on eBay real quick and see what it's going for right now, just for the fun of it. Pre Rapala Wiggle Warts. SP90 Missouri Craw. There may not be any for sale on eBay right now, but we'll see. $3.99. February 7th, one sold for $400. $400 for this thing. Just a few weeks ago. Gav07, how you doing, man? Welcome. So this is a really highly sought after color, this Missouri Craw, and so many people have snapped them up that they're getting harder to find, and that's why the prices are going up on them. Yep, Braden, Saturday's going to be fun. We'll be spinning the wheel Saturday. Randy Blockett just did a modification video on the wiggle wart to make it run better. Yeah, I watched that. And that's pretty much what most guys do, to tell you the truth. He didn't really have many secrets there. The one thing he does that I do not do is I'm not going to sand down the bill the way he does. He files down the bill. I might do that on a new wart, I guess, but there's no way I'm going to do it on one of these old ones. Hey, Kelly, welcome. Kelly's new. All right, Kelly, if you're new, you need to join us on Saturday night, because this wheel behind me here, right there, we spin the wheel on Saturday nights and give away free baits, and it's pretty fun. We do that Friday nights at 8. I mean, Saturday nights at 8, sorry. Saturday night is when we give away. Wade is watching. Oh, man. Well, Wade could be fishing now. There's no reason why Wade can't fish. Kelly got to win herself some baits. Right on. Samuel, how's it going, man? Check out Muskie Shop for your storm cranks for pike. That's a good tip, Nathan. I didn't know about them. Everybody say hi to Kelly. Kelly's new. So back to equipment. How to fish a wiggle wart. Like I said, cold water conditions is when you can fish a wiggle wart, and they work all over the country. They don't just work in the Ozarks, but if you're fishing in the Ozarks in the spring, you need to be throwing a wiggle wart. Big sales this weekend at Muskie Shop. So most guys throw a wiggle wart on about 8-pound test, the line. 8, 10-pound test, maybe 12-pound test at the most. And there's some guys who would say that's absolutely stupid. No way do you throw a wiggle wart on 12-pound test. But a lot of guys do. But I usually start with 8-pound test. A wiggle wart runs somewhere between 5 and 9 feet deep. Could maybe get it 10 feet deep on really light line. And that's one thing about crankbaits. If you want to get them to fish a little deeper, use a smaller diameter line. The smaller the line, the deeper they will run. And if you have a crankbait that keeps hitting the bottom and you're trying to get it up, just put heavier line on, and a lot of times that will do the trick for you. Hey, Outside World's on. What's up, man? So 8-pound test, 10-pound test, 12-pound test is the line you're going to use. Now, wiggle warts are light lures, and so getting them to cast is sometimes difficult. So a lot of guys will fish a wiggle wart on a spinning rod, spinning reel and rod combination. And so you can definitely do that. And then other guys will throw a bait caster. Like I have an incredible reel made by Shimano that is specially made for light line, light lures, and it will still cast a crankbait a really far distance. So a lot of times I will use that rod and reel combo, but most of the time, if you're just getting started, just throw it on a spinning reel and you'll be fine, and you'll get a lot more distance. And you know, like any crankbait, the more distance you can get, the better. Yeti Whisper, no, I don't think taking the snap off really impacts the action. Now, I believe there are some guys who think it does, but I'm not one of them. I think even if it does change the action a little bit, it's still worth it, because I do not want to lose my wiggle wart from a snap breaking. And I've had a lot of those snaps break or bend out on me. Okay, so rod, reel, line, that's pretty much what you would use. And I fish it on a regular cranking rod. So it's going to be a glass rod, fiberglass rod with a moderate taper, so that when I hook that fish, I don't jerk it out of their mouth. Fishing with Evan, the giveaway is Saturday night, man. Saturday night. We're just talking fishing tonight. Hey, Outside World likes talking. I'm glad to hear it. So fishing the wiggle wart is kind of interesting. It's very erratic, and you want it to be banging off the bottom. That's the trick, which is why rocky impoundments are better. If you're throwing around a lot of sticks and laydowns, you're going to get hung up. You can fish it around wood. You just got to be careful. And if the water's super cold, you almost want to fish it in a way where you cast it, you crank it down, and you kind of reel the slack out of the line and just kind of pull your rod along over the rocks, bouncing over the rocks. And then you try to take up the line before you've completely stopped. And so it's kind of like a drag retrieve, a drag and turn retrieve at the same time. A lot of times in that super cold water, they will just kind of suck it in, and you'll just feel weight. You won't feel like a really hard hit. Now, there's other times where it'll be really aggressive, but most of the time it's just super subtle, and they just suck that in super cold water. The warmer the water gets, the less that's an issue. But if you got the right equipment, and even if you're just chunking and winding it, you're going to catch some fish eventually. Does the size of the bait matter? Well, there are different sizes of wiggle warts. There's bigger ones that are called magnums. I'll show you a magnum. Here's a magnum compared to the regular size. I throw the regular size almost always. If you're not getting bit on the regular size, you can experiment and throw a magnum. And sometimes they will catch fish. The magnums are a lot cheaper to buy on eBay too. If you wanted to, if you only had like $10, you could probably find a magnum for $10, $15, $20. So those are kind of the two main sizes. There are other kind of warts out there. There are what's called short warts. I'll show you what a short wart looks like. Here's a short wart. And one of the differences is it has this squared off, strange looking bill, short warts do. Where a normal wiggle wart has this kind of a bill. So you can see that's very different. And it's shaped a little different too, the body. A short wart is going to deflect off a cover more. And, you know, if you are fishing around a lot of timber and wood, a short wart might be a good idea. This webcam isn't the best for showing baits, is it? There's also another type of, well, there's a bunch of them. There's what's called wee warts, which are even tinier. I don't know if I got any wees in here. Let me see if I do. Wee wart. I've got some somewhere, but I don't know where they're at. Oh, wait, maybe they're back here. Here's another one I forgot I had. These are not wee warts either. Any wee warts are tiny. I don't think I have any hanging up. I don't know what the weight is off the top of my head. I probably should know that. But I don't know. I'll have to go look that up. Looks like somebody's saying 3/8 for the regular size. That sounds about right, but I don't know for sure. I've got a few custom painted ones. Let me show you those. Check that out. Is that kind of crazy looking? It doesn't really focus really good up close, but hopefully you can see it. This has like blood spots on it, and it's got an orange belly and red eyes. Look at the bill, the color pattern on the bill. Is that sick looking or what? This might not catch fish, but man, it sure will catch a fisherman. It's really cool looking. So what makes an original wart, or how can you tell if you've got an original wart? Here it is right here. See the word? I don't know if it'll focus on the words or not, but it'll say wiggle wart under the bill. And that's how you know you've got the original. Here's another one you might show up a little better. This is the blue mackerel. You're looking for those words, wiggle wart. Man, it almost had it. That's how you know you got one of the originals. It'll say wiggle wart underneath it. Now here's some new ones. And I'll show you the difference. The new ones say storm on the bill. See that? That's how you know this is a $5 lure. Now it still looks great. It's still the same shape. And it will catch fish. So you don't have to go spend $75 for an original if you just want to catch fish. How much do all my crankbaits cost together? Woo! Lots and lots and lots. So I'll just give you an example. Which Mrs. Bass it was not real happy about this one. But I found a guy that was selling a bunch of his wiggle warts. And I bought a bunch of them off of him. And I went and bought basically, you know, a big collection of his. So that collection cost me $6,000. So I've got thousands and thousands of dollars in wiggle warts. And it's more about the collection, you know, than it is. I mean, I fish with them too. But yeah, I'm not playing, am I? I like my wiggle warts. So there's a lot of money. These are wiggle wart. These behind me hanging up are originals. See those? Those are all originals. And those over there, those are all originals. So there's a bunch of them in there. A bunch. Is that an investment? Well, yeah, it kind of is. I don't know if it's the smartest investment, but if you buy original wiggle warts, you're going to be able to sell them. And if you buy them at the right price, you can sell them and make money. So like those baits that I paid $6,000 for, the average price on those was around $25 each. And I figured up, you know, that they were probably worth on average about $50 each. So that's a good investment if you look at it that way. But I'm obviously not going to sell them all. I'm going to fish with a lot of them. John, how many baits in that collection? I don't remember. It was a lot. I've actually done a video with that whole collection, but I haven't published it. I haven't got the video edited, but I need to edit it, and then I could show you guys how many was in that collection. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. And then, you know, I have a bunch of other crankbaits too. So when you say, how much is my crankbait collection worth? Is a lot. Okay. So Wiggle wart fishing is, you know, the good thing about crankbait fishing is there's not a huge science behind it, but there is some. There's a really good video out there of a guy fishing, an older guy fishing wiggle warts, and you ought to go watch it. Let me pull that video up and I'll tell you the name of it, the name of this guy. He's an old timer. His name is Dave Barker, and the video is called Wiggle Wart Fishing on Table Rock Lake with Dave Barker, 8 years ago. If you type in Wiggle Wart Fishing in the search box on YouTube, his video should come up, although they tailor it to you, so it may not. But it's called Wiggle Wart Fishing on Table Rock Lake, and he is a master at wiggle wart fishing. It's a great video. You'll learn a lot if you watch him. It's a great video. No, it's not me. You're right. N5 KDA. You need to have good lure retrievers so that if you break one of these lures off, you can retrieve it. And then sometimes you'll still lose it. I mean, here's another fact of life when it comes to crankbait fishing. You're gonna break some off. You are gonna lose some. And every time you throw a crankbait in the water, you should be thinking to yourself, this could be the last time I ever see this lure. This might be it. And just accept it if it happens. Don't get mad. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just accept the fact. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. For sure. So I'm going to be putting out quite a few wiggle wart videos here in the next coming weeks. I'm going to do one on my favorite colors. And I can use my better camera so you can actually see the patterns. These are some of my favorite colors here. In the Ozark areas, if you're going to buy a few wiggle warts and you're wondering about colors, get the Craw Patterns. The Craw Patterns are what you should be buying. Like this. That's a good one. This. You want Crawdad patterns. You got to get to the right box. Now here's a red crawdad. This is called the 209 color, which is just a red crawfish. It's called naturistic red craw. That's a good color. Here's one of the best colors out there. V86. V86 is called Phantom. See if you can see it there. Phantom green crayfish. And when you look at it, it almost doesn't look green. It's a super, in fact, it doesn't look green on the video at all. It looks brown. But it's got a super light green tint to it. This is one killer color in the Ozarks. The other thing is, when you buy these used ones, you want to make sure the knocker still works. Sometimes, guys, if you're going to buy them on the used market, verify that the knocker really works before you pay big money for them. Here's another cool craw color. Check this one out. It's got a super bright red back, chartreuse sides, orange belly, and it's craw shaped. This is the SP54, which is called chartreuse red craw. And that's one that'll probably go for $80 to $90. Might could get it for $70. They go for less if they're out of the box like these, though. If you buy them in the box, like that $400 one I was telling you about earlier that sold last week, it was new in the package. Here's a popular color. This is SP53. This is chartreuse green craw. All these craw colors work well down here. This SP52 is called light brown crawdad. A lot of guys in Texas throw this color. See you, Kelly. Thanks for hopping on. It was fun. Then if you're in dirty water, you could go with a hot tiger color like this. This one is V74. Hot tiger. It's got an orange belly, although you almost can't even tell it in the video, but it does have an orange belly. There you go. See it? Yellow sides, green back, black, green, black back. Hot tiger. Yep. It's also fire tigers. This similar color is called fire tiger with a lot of other lures, but for some reason Rapala calls it hot tiger. Here's another really nice one I like a lot. This is V208 blue craw. And blue craw catches them well as well. Yeah, Randy Blockett, whoever was saying about his, one of the things he does is he likes to paint his eyes red. If you notice, the blue craw comes with red eyes, but a lot of these have yellow eyes, like the fire tiger, hot tiger. He paints them red. I usually don't. I'm not going to paint them red. I'm going to leave them the way they come naturally. But if this is a cool color here. I don't fish with this color much in the Ozarks, but this is called watermelon. V210 watermelon. See you, Spencer. Thanks for hopping on. And here's a bone color. Wiggle wart fishing is really fun, just like all crankbait fishing. You know, crankbait fishing is a blast. When they're really eating crankbaits, man, ton of fun. Yeah, thing about pond fishing with these Braden is it's real easy to break them off and lose them, unless you can swim out in the pond to get them. But that's what you use the new ones for, because they're only $4 or $5 each. Just fish ponds with the new ones, and then if they break off, you haven't really caused a ton of pain. Yeti Whisper, I do not know what the value of all my warts is. I never added it up, but I'd say it's probably about $8,000 to $10,000. Leeches, gators, snakes, and seas. I used to swim in ponds a lot as a kid. I think it's fairly safe. And then here's one that's just a V37, which is just a brown crawdad. And this, again, is a very popular color. A lot of guys throw this one. It's got a red belly. Again, it's hard to see. It has a red belly, and then it's just brown with yellow eyes. And I guess Randy would be coloring these eyes red, but like I said, I don't do that. The other thing Randy said is that he believes that this dark bill, not the clear bill, catches more fish for him. I've never noticed that. I throw the clear bills probably more than the solid bills, and I seem to catch lots of fish with the solids. So I don't know on that. Randy's got way more experience than I do, though, so you're probably smarter listening to him than you are to me. So, Alex, those are some of my colors. One of my very favorites is this blue craw I just showed you. I've probably got 10 or 12 of these because I don't want to run out of them. I love this color. Blue craw. SV208. Probably one of my very favorites. And then a lot of these other craws I've shown you. This V59 is one of my favorites. I don't think I've shown it to you yet. Let me show you. V59 is called Phantom Brown Crayfish. Oops. And why is it one of my favorites? Just because it catches fish so well. And it's got a clear bill. Clear bill. And you can kind of see through this thing. Even though it's orange and kind of crawdad pattern on the bottom, you can see through it. I don't know if you can, if I put my finger there, you might can see it behind it. And these clear, really subtle patterns on the wiggle warts do really well down here. This one has red eyes. So that's another one of my favorites. All right, Jim's back. Sweet. They have a lot of other colors like shiny colors and stuff. I'll show you a few of those. I don't fish much with the metallics at all, but guys out west do. Guys out west, I hear, fish a lot of these metallic colors. I'll show you a few of those. Here's one called Metallic Yellow Clown, I think it's called. Let me look and see if I can remember what this. I wrote some of these down so I wouldn't forget. Yeah, Metallic Yellow Clown is what this one's called. Super shiny. Like they said, it's got like a metal looking finish on it. And most of the time I'm not fishing with these colors. It's a pretty cool looking one. Here's a copper one. This is I don't know if you can see it. It's got red eyes, and it's pretty much all copper colored except well, it is. The whole thing's copper colored. I thought it had a black back, but it doesn't. Kind of. So that is called Metallic Copper. V131 is the number on that one. And then here's one, V103, that also I think is really popular out west. It's called Metallic Silver with a black back. And it's really just almost looks like the color of stainless steel. but it's got a black back and yellow eyes. Solid bill. So that's a few of the shiny ones. Here's one that's kind of unique. This one is called, it's blue, metallic blue with yellow eyes. And this one is called metallic blue with a black back. Do I have any shad colors? Yeah, I do. Let me show you. Here is one called silver silver scale. This is a shad colored one. And these shad ones, I will fish with these. I mean, there's times when the shads really work well. Like a lot of times I'll throw them in the fall. You can see that scale pattern on this one. Really natural looking. Thanks for hopping on, Clint. Appreciate it. Here's another shad one. This is called green scale. And it's just like that one, except it's got a green tint to the top half, and then the bottom is just shad scale patterns. I'm trying to get it where it'll show you what it looks like. Anyway, that's another shad color. And here's one. I don't know if you can see this. These are kind of cool. This is V180. And this is, see how shiny that looks? That's called a prism. And this one is called Blackback Prism Flash. It's got a black back, yellow eyes, but it's got this holographic look to it that they call prism, which is kind of an interesting, you know, in certain conditions, I think that's going to give you a lot of flash in the water there. You might like that one, Braden. Definitely looks shaddy. Do I have any with purple on the back? Let me look here. Purple on the back. I got a black one. Look at that. That's as black as they come. That's a Darth Vader. Do 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 do. I will look for some purple here. Let me see what I can do. Purple, purple, purple. Here's a bluish one that's custom painted. Greenish, blue, red eyes. That's a custom paint job I got from somebody. I know I've got something with purple on it. Let me see. Oh, here's a purple one. This is another custom paint job. You guys kind of liked those custom ones. Check that thing out. Is that wild looking or what? Red eyes, purple back, orange belly. That is crazy. Same guy painted that. He painted several of these for me. That one that I showed you earlier. Pretty nice paint jobs. I would think smallie. Maybe a smallie would eat that. I don't know. What do you smallmouth fishermen think? Here's another custom painted one. This one is really kind of cool because it's see-through, which you may not be able to tell. I wonder if I turn this light on under here, it's going to make me look really right, but you might show up the bait better. Is that better or worse? So that's another custom paint job. Subtle orange underneath. I mean, that's a really nice looking lure there. Okay, guys are saying it's mostly better, so I'll leave that light on. I got a few more customs in here. Some of these are better than others. Here's a custom paint job. This is kind of a typical craw pattern this guy did with red eyes, but the tail has a little bit of blue on it. Not quite sure why. And then I got kind of, this one isn't so sexy looking, but it's probably a better fish catcher. This is more like what I would call that Diet Dew color. And you can see the eyes look different on these custom painted ones. So I got any more? Let's see. I think I already showed you this one. Yeah, I think I did. I did. That's the blue one. I got a few more. I don't think I showed you this orange one yet, did I? This is another custom paint job. So what are, one of the advantages of a custom paint job is nobody else will be throwing it. So if you're in a tournament and everybody's throwing wiggle warts, like I fished a table rock tournament in the spring. That was the one that Brandon Polinick was fishing, and why can I not think of the other two guys I fished with? Matt Heron and one other guy. And they were all throwing wiggle warts. Everybody was throwing wiggle warts in that tournament. It was a springtime tournament at Table Rock. If you have a custom painted lure, nobody else has it. Hey, Machek joined us. How's it going, man? Tyler's on now too. How's it going, Tyler? So, yeah, that one's not as fancy and cool as this one that I showed you guys. I mean, come on. That's about as sick as it gets. And then here's another custom paint job that's not very, black back, kind of greenish olive color. It's got these red dots on it, which is kind of unique. But then it goes blue and orange at the bottom. So that's kind of a nice twist. Yep. Happy to have you on here, Tyler. It's fun to be live. Talk fishing. Here's some other custom painted ones. What about that? It's unique. Red eyes. Got a little orange on the belly. So custom painting is cool, and old N5 KDA, he's been painting. He paints lures. He said he's got some warts he's been painting. You can, on eBay, you can sometimes find ones that aren't in very good shape, and you can get them for cheaper, and then you just have to repaint them. And that's kind of what these were. Here's another custom paint job, and this one, the colors are really subtle, but sometimes the fish like that. You know, this isn't a in-your-face, super wild paint job, but it's cool. Yeah, they dive about 5 to 9 feet. My check. 5 to 9. You can get them down to 10 feet with really light line if you were to go upsize to maybe 6-pound test. You can get a little deeper. That's pretty much all my custom paint jobs. I think I showed you guys one like this already, didn't I? So that's the custom ink. Custom ink warts. But they do make purples, some with purple that don't have to be a custom paint job. I just don't know where they're at right now. V70, let me show you. How about a yellow glitter? This is not a custom paint job. This is the way it came from the factory. It's called yellow glitter. So what's so special about these cranks compared to others? Well, legend has it. Fishing legend has it. There was 2 guys, the Storm brothers, who made crankbaits, and they made these wiggle warts, and they were really popular, and they caught lots of fish. And you know, they only sold, this was back in the 60s and 70s, I believe. They sold for like $3 each, $4 each, $2.50. I've seen them for $2 if you find some with the original prices on it. $2 to $4. And then the Storm brothers sold out to Rapala. And Rapala, look at that. It's focused in on it really good right now. Rapala changed the mold on these baits. Apparently, the thought was that the original mold had some flaws in it. So they took the original mold and just corrected the flaws. It's pretty much the same bait, just changed a little. And when they changed it, diehard fishermen said, hey, there's something different about the way this new one fishes. The old one's more erratic in the water than the new ones. And then everybody was like, oh my gosh, we got to go buy the old ones before they're all gone. And that's why the price has gone up so high, because the only place you can find these old ones now is on eBay or garage sales and stuff like that. So the action is different. It does look like a banana, Braden. It's not called the banana. Here's the banana color for you. Or a lemon. That is bright lemony yellow. Bananas. This one's kind of cool too. V85. This is pumpkin seed. Pretty sweet. Definitely a different color pattern. Pumpkin seed. Lemon with the red. That's right. Lemon with the red. Pumpkin seed. Oh, here's a couple of other colors that are pretty crazy, and these are not custom paints. These are the way they came. Check this one out. Yellow eyes, red head, green back, and that's like bright sherbet green. Yellow sides with red scales and a red belly. Is that crazy or what? See you, John. Thanks for hopping on. Yeah, this is a crazy color. It's like a combination of fire tiger and clown and a bunch of others. Pretty cool. And then, of course, they got like a bright orange. Bright orange. All right. Outside world keeps asking to see the swim baits. You guys want to look at the swim baits or not? We got one vote for swim baits. Anybody else want to look at the big swim baits? Switch from warts to swim baits. Or you don't want to stick on warts? See ya, Alex. Have a good one. All right. I got a sure, don't mind, sure, lend me some swim baits. All right, let's do it then. Okay. We can start with one of my favorites. You guys know which one this is. What's this one called? You can see right there who makes it. Roman made. John Smith. You're right. This is the Negotiator. So I got another Negotiator up here. I got a couple of them. Here's another Negotiator. Can't see it. How's that? See you, Daniel. Negotiator. All right, one more Negotiator. This one here. It's a lot brighter color. Check that out. That is a pretty sick color. It looks awesome, doesn't it? I really like it. A lot. So those are the Negotiators. Do I like using Senkos for bass? Heck yes, I do. I'll throw a Senko a lot more than I will a big swim bait. All right. Let's look at the depths 250s. We're talking about Fire Tiger. There you go. Depths 250 and Fire Tiger. You can see how it compares to the Negotiator we were looking at. Pretty giant, isn't it? I use these for bass, but I'm sure guys fish some of these with pike. The problem is these depths 250s. They're made with a kind of like a soft plastic material that's wrapped around a hard plastic body. And I guarantee you, pike would destroy the outer skin of this thing in no time. So that's Fire Tiger. Let's see what else here we got. This one's, I don't know what these colors are called off the top of my head, sorry, but this is a very subtle looking shad color. It's got sparkles in it. And a lot of these big swim baits, you kind of want very natural, subtle colors because you're trying to fool really big fish. And usually you're fishing these in really clear water conditions. So I prefer the natural colors for big swim baits usually. The depths 250 weighs a lot. Let me look it up, see if I can tell you. Depths 250. Depths 250 slide swimmer. Oh wait, that's not what I'm looking for. .5 ounces. So this one weighs 6.5 ounces, almost half a pound. When you get the hooks on it, it probably is close to half a pound. You throw this on a ginormous rod. A lot of guys throw this on 9-foot long rods. My rod for this was about 8.5 foot long, extra heavy, super stout rod. You cannot throw this on your everyday rod. It just cannot handle it. These are pretty good, cool lures by Megabass. This is called the iSlide 262. These are hard. They don't have a coating on them, you know, like the Depths 250s do. These are some sweet color patterns on these bad boys. Let me show you how it compares to the Negotiator in size. Pretty big, huh? Big lures. I've only got a couple of those. This one is a really cool pattern, even though it's pretty subtle. You see, I can hang this one back up. I like this color a lot. You got the purple here, and then you come up a little bit of orange and a little bit of red around the gill plate. It's got a darker back and this really clear belly. That's another iSlide 262. Yeah, the tails are cool, and the tails are removable because the tails get destroyed by the fish. So you buy yourself spare tails, and when they get torn up, you can replace them. iSlide 262. This one's pretty cool. This is the Gancraft Magnum 230. And I'll show you how it compares to the Negotiator. It's not as big, but it's still big. And usually when it has a number like the iSlide 262, that's 262 millimeters long is usually what that means. So this is called the 230, 230 millimeters long is what that means. You catch giant fish. Now what's funny is you can catch 2-pounders, 3-pounders, 4-pounders on these swim baits, but they really, what makes them so special is they catch big fish. 8-pounders, 9-pounders. You're fishing down there in Arizona or California or Texas or Florida where you can catch 13, 14-pounders. This will draw them out. Definitely big fish. There's a guy called Butch Brown who made the Depths 250 famous. Go watch some of his videos. Butch Brown. He's got video after video of catching giants on this. Giants. Off the chart giants. All right, I'll show you a couple of more before we wrap up here. These are cheaper swim baits made by Storm Lures. And they look, actually this one's River to Sea, sorry. I'll show you the Storm Lures one in a minute. This is called the S-Waver. And the S-Waver has some really nice patterns. I'll show you it compared to the Negotiator. Almost close in size. And this is the Storm Arashi Glide. And show you how it compares to the Negotiator in size. Very similar. You think somebody's trying to copy somebody here? See you, Braden. Have a good one, buddy. Pretty sweet. Now, the cool thing about these Storms, if you're wanting to get into the swim bait game, these are pretty cheap. So are those S-Wavers. So before you go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you ought to buy the Storm version or the S-Waver version and see how you like throwing it. All right, we're getting close to wrapping up for the night. I'll show you these bluegill baits, and then we'll call it a night. This is made by Depths as well. It's called the Bull Shooter. And that's how it compares to the Negotiator. Pretty crazy, huh? This is the detail on this bluegill is just amazing. It is amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful bait. It's insane. What that on? You could try it in the pond. I mean, I'm not going to say it wouldn't work. You just never know. The right fish at the right time on the right day. Okay, and this one here, I'm trying to remember who makes this one. This is called a Gantrel. A Gantrel. And they make a lot of lifelike looking bluegills. Really nice. And they're not crazy priced either if you're wanting to get you a bluegill swim bait. See you, Jan. Have a good one, buddy. Yeah, Jackal makes this. You're right, John. John knows his stuff. All right, that's going to wrap it up, guys. I'm getting tired. Thanks for hopping on. I don't remember who recommended doing this. Let's talk fishing instead of giving stuff away. And I think the giving away is fun, but I think the talking fishing's fun too. So maybe we'll keep this going. Maybe one night a week we will just talk fishing. And then on Saturdays we'll do our spin to win wheel. How's that sound? Thanks for hopping on, Clint. See you, man. Have a good night, everybody. Take it easy. Hope you get out and get some fishing done this week. See Big Hill 75. Good night. Thanks for hopping on, man. See you, Tyler. Have a good one. Night, John. We are going to end in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.